Hello, Earthlings. How are you guys? Oh my goodness. I am just so happy. I have got such good news to share with my people. That's why I'm coming on super late, even though I didn't give any notice. So if you're here and you can hear me, please say hello, and then I'll know that the mic is working. It is plugged in and everything. But let me just tell you my good news. I'll start with my puppy dog. I took her today to OSU Veterinarian Hospital. It's literally the best in the world, in my opinion. It's a fact, as far as I know, not just my opinion, but anyway. Um, I got in on a cancellation last minute. So we hadn't been taking our dog there. She was going to have to get her leg amputated and her hip amputated. And I took her to have that happen yesterday to get rid of the cancer. And then the surgeon said, "Oh, this is beyond my level of expertise. Let me refer you to somebody in Cincinnati who is on vacation for 2 weeks." Sherry, hi. My Coco has got to keep her leg. I'm so happy. So I took her to OSU today thinking that they were going to take the leg and the hip. And they had a different opinion. It just goes to show you always get a second opinion. She could have lost her leg. And the experts at OSU think that they can get most of the cancer growth with surgery, and then they can laser the rest. Lasers are great. Radiation. So that's the route we're going. So that was like the best news in the world. I took the dog this morning thinking I was going to come home with half my dog. I couldn't be happier about that. We'll see how it goes. So Christine and Sherry, thank you so much for being here, you guys. And then you want to know the other good news? Do you guys know folks in Florida, or are you in Florida? Because I've got really close family members that are right literally in the eye of that hurricane, and it's not been bad for them. So if you know people down there and you're worried about them, hopefully they've had as much of God's grace and good luck as my family members have. So they're just south of Tampa, and I don't know how the rest of the state is doing. Plus, it's only 11 o'clock, right? The worst of it was supposed to be like at 2 a.m., but then that moved up. It's just been so scary, hasn't it? I mean, we've just been on pins and needles for days, and still so much mayhem and misfortune with the last hurricane that rolled through and all the people cleaning up on that. So I wanted to share the good news with you. We can catch up on a couple of cases. Sherry says, got family in Florida. They lost power, but okay, they have a generator. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it was looking like everything was going to get destroyed, like their house and everything in it. I mean, they boarded up their windows. I hope that the rest of the state is faring as well as they are, and that it continues through the night. I wanted to update you guys on the case in Kentucky with the sheriff and the judge, because I've learned a little bit more about that situation. So the sheriff who shot the judge, he used to be the bailiff for that judge. And yes, he did say afterwards that they were trying to kidnap his wife and daughter. The sheriff said that. Who knows what he meant by that, or if maybe he was purposely trying to create a narrative where then he could claim some kind of self-defense or insanity. I don't know. Yeah, best news in the world, Christine. Glad your families are doing okay. For all in the direct path. Yeah, major prayers. The prayers worked for my doggy. The prayers have worked for the part of Florida that I know about so far. But man, I was so braced for having to deal with all that surgery and amputation with Coco, and braced for the destruction with that Gulf of Mexico. So that hurricane was crazy, wasn't it? It came as a 5 and then it dissipated to like a 3, but it was huge, but then it went back to being a 5. And I don't know what the category is of it hitting land, but it doesn't sound like it's even a 3, maybe. I don't know. St. Pete is getting tons of rain and wind. They're about 45 minutes from there. Yeah. Yeah. My family's in Sarasota, Sherry. So Sarasota is looking good. And that I think is about 45 minutes, maybe an hour south of St. Pete. I'm not 100% sure. But prayers, prayers, prayers. So I got a new comfy chair because I realized that with my uncomfortable chair, I wasn't going to be doing lives that were more than like, 2 hours max. So I thought, why not get a big comfy chair? It kind of reminds me of Blue's Clues, right? And that's like a little detective show for kids. So it's my Blue's Clues chair. And I've spent part of the day rearranging here in my studio, and I hope that it'll suit us all well for having longer lives, because I've missed you guys so much. Yeah, the chair looks huge. It's not that big, but it takes up a lot of the screen. I think in the last week, I've only done, like, this is my 3rd live in a week. So I guess that's not so terrible. I think I did the long one on Thursday, and then I did just like a regular one a couple of days ago. But I just feel like I'm starving for getting back into my routine with my lives. The doggy stuff took over, having lots of dog appointments, and I just couldn't be more blessed. Um, so let's talk about that Kentucky case if you want, or if there's other things you guys want to talk about. I'm just so delighted for Hurricane Milton. So delighted. Yes, the scenario in Kentucky is crazy. Glad you got comfy chair. Yeah, I know, me too. I had that other chair because it was so small, but yeah, now I have the big Blues Clues cushy, kind of like a club chair, and I could just hang out here all day. I could be like T Rev and have my 19-hour lives, right? Or Shan used to do the marathon lives too. So yeah, with Kentucky, we're still not getting that much information. There's still a lot of rumor and innuendo that seems to be um, suspicious, right? I mean, why would the sheriff do that to his friend and do that to himself? I mean, it had to be bad. Unless he had some kind of psychotic break. But you got to remember too, that whole thing with the deputy, I learned more about that as well. The deputy was basically coercing female defendants into giving him favors of the intimate type in exchange for like taking off their ankle bracelet or dropping fees, things like that. So it really seems like he had a deal with that judge where he was using the judge's chambers, and then that camera being in there filming the shooting makes me think that camera was in there for that other stuff too. And maybe the sheriff didn't know that the camera was in there. But anyway, what I wanted to point out and reiterate, I've said it once or twice, maybe 3 times, is that the sheriff had done a 4-hour deposition, I think 3 days before this happened. And I think that that lawsuit was against him for being the supervisor of the deputy while the deputy was getting away with all this P. Diddy type of crap, right? We won't talk about P. Diddy. That's a little too much. It's too late, right? In Kentucky, essay on kids 10 years and younger. What are you talking about? The judge? Is that the word on the street? Because you don't want to judge a book by his cover, but I did say it once. I'll say it again. He has a really weird Pee Wee Herman kind of look. And also like the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. If you guys look at a picture of him, think of the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. And the Pee Wee Herman thing. I mean, you never know, but I get the willies when I look at photographs of him. I'll just say it. I'll just be straightforward with you. You guys know how I like to be straightforward. So you live after checking max velocity, but now gotta go. Good luck with your pup jazz. Oh, thanks so much for stopping in, Christine. Very sweet. And Sherry says, and yeah, you can call me Z, right? You can call me Jazz, you can call me Z, you can call me Zena. Some say camera was installed, the P. Diddy stuff. Yes, the judge, DA, and others. So we know that the judge and the DA are married to women that are sisters with each other. So that, you know, that small town, everybody's going to know everybody. But why in the world would the 17-year-old daughter's phone number be in the judge's phone? That, I think, is the only information that we have that's really clear that that was what set the sheriff off. So yeah, maybe he didn't know that it was going to be filmed, that what he was doing, and maybe he thought that he could come up with like a self-defense defense, right? Because if nobody saw, he probably could have conjured something like that up. I wonder if he didn't know that that camera was there. I bet he didn't. What do you guys think? Daughter is a minor, 17, I believe. Right. And I believe that 16 is the age of consent in Kentucky. However, not with some old man. Like that's only if someone is within like 4 years age difference, you know, like a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old can be in a consensual relationship. But, you know, usually those types of things aren't really protected, that people just kind of take it for granted. Like, oh, okay, well, if the age of consent is 16, then the age of consent is 16. But that judge was 53. So, yeah. J.R. Nana Boomer sending love and light, everyone. And Sandra Lankford, Jazz, you're interrupting Hurricane Milton, but I'll take it. Right. So I was saying at the beginning that I have family that's right there in Sarasota, that they called me and said that they're fine, that they're right in the thick of it and everything's cool. So I don't know about other parts of the state. I hope that other places are doing as well. But Sarasota has the eye of the hurricane, and that does give a calm. You know, it's like you get the band of the intensity and then the calm and then another band of the intensity. So I do think it is worse on when you're not in the eye, right? We'll see. We'll see what the reports are. So, what else, you guys? So, I haven't heard anything for a long time about Sandra Birchmore. Have you guys? We had tornadoes dropping. That's right. I saw the tornadoes, JR Nana, and no warning. I'm trying to find out why they aren't being issued on our phones. Wow. Where are you, JR Nana? I know Sandra's down there in Florida. Yeah, I did see some of those tornadoes. I've been checking all day. August 2025 Idaho hearing. Yeah, the Koberger case. You know, I did my last video kind of nutshelling that case like I often do. That case is just nonsensical. Absolutely nonsensical. When you talk about the 4-hour delay, the 8-hour delay, a total of 12-hour delay, the missing 5 hours in the timeline with Xana and Ethan that then got magically filled in, the dog, the bleeding house. I mean, that case is so freaking weird. And then we never talk about the whole thing with that one content creator who played the audio of the neighbor's Ring doorbell cam. And then it was said that he invented that, but then it looks like that's real. So he dealt with all kinds of, I don't know, trolls and shame. And then it turns out that tape was real. Like, that's the kind of effery and the kind of gaslighting that, you know, we just don't know which way is up sometimes with these videos with YouTube. It's hard to know who to trust, what to trust. You know, I mean, the information can look solid, but it can be fabricated. It's just bizarre. Or like with the Kylie Rodney case and all of the FOIAs coming out now, and it's just craziness. I know Shan's doing a really good job breaking all that down. Grandkids, Wellington Royal Palm. I'm not sure. I haven't ever heard of Wellington and Royal Palm. I'm guessing that that's Florida. I am in Green Acres. We're all in Palm Beach County. That's a cool name, Green Acres. I love it. Sounds like Dorothy clicking her heels. This new judge appears to be much more organized than Judge. Well, that's good. That's really good. I just don't trust that case. I really don't. You know, in my last video, I was going over all the stuff in the police departments with Wazoo and with the Pullman PD and the police chief Jenkins and the interviewing Koberger and that whole thing with the freaking letter of reprimand that little girly Gigi from Arkansas said she got a copy of, but then she never showed it. And then Ashley Banfield says, yeah, she's got it. It's real, but she never showed it. And then the whole thing just like dried up and disappeared. And what I've always said about the 4 people from Wazoo that were forced to resign, the 3 command staff and Matthew Kurt, who only resigned 9 days before the slaughter. So the command staff had resigned earlier in the summer. But I've never believed that the university had no knowledge of what was going on, because, I've been there to Pullman, I've been there to Wazoo, and there's just a whole culture of SAs there. So it wasn't until this case that I realized, well, of course the police are behind it, because otherwise they'd be putting a stop to it, right? It's disgusting. Let's see. Was watching a detective PI from California, asked him if he would look at Kylie's case, but hadn't heard anything from him. Yeah, I mean, it seems like that case was really controlled by very connected people, connected with the law enforcement, connected with the social media. You know who I'm getting at, the ones that live up the hill from where Kylie lived. Oh, so heartbreaking. And Sandra's in Orlando with Minnie Mouse, Minnie and Mickey. They live there too. Yeah. I know they would close the park today, and they're expecting to have it closed all day tomorrow. I just hope that it's not just my family that's okay. I hope that the rest of the state is okay as well. I don't know. I haven't heard the most recent updates for the last couple of hours. I haven't been paying attention to that. I've been listening to music. My obsession with that band, AJR, Adam, Jack, and Ryan. I know their names and everything. The three brothers that I saw play in Cincinnati. What was it, July or June? My kids made me go. I didn't want to go, but I didn't want them to go on without a chaperone. So we all went, and I had the time of my life. And I hate crowds. I do. I love music, but I hate crowds. So when I was younger, I would go to concerts, and then I realized how much I hated crowds, so I quit going. Like a small venue is nice, but this was a really big venue. It was the Heritage Bank Arena in downtown Cincinnati. Big, but not too big. I mean, I've been to bigger. I think that was like, it held like 20,000 people, and I've been to some concerts with like 50,000 people. So back in the good old days, I used to do a lot of that, as much as I could. And yeah, I think I saw the Police play at that same Heritage Center when I was in high school. I think I also saw the Police play at Riverbend. Riverbend in Cincinnati is an awesome venue. It's right on the river. It's outdoors. I saw the Luminaries play there a year or two ago. I won the tickets on the radio, so that was cool. Over 1 million people out of electricity. Yeah, and it's hard being out of electricity, but people were prepared for it, so hopefully they have everything charged up, and a lot of people have generators, I know. And then there's also the shelters where they can go to charge things up if they lose power on their phones and laptops and stuff. But yeah, the signal's not very good. I got a call from my family member there in Sarasota, and the signal was lousy, but we were able to communicate at least. So, well, I was going to keep this short and sweet. It's just about 24 minutes. Was there anything else that is pressing to discuss? I know the Micah Miller case is still out there in the ether, and I'm so happy that people continue to put pressure on that church, and that there's content creators that continue to stay very focused on her case. JP Diddy is a dangerous dude and needs to answer. Please subscribe, share, notify, all that jazz. My brain's not really working fully. So let me say that everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of starting a conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and learn something. And all my videos are made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I hope that my videos are educational, but I'd like to acknowledge the entertainment quality of YouTube. Hit your like button if you'd be so kind. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for dropping in and saying hi. And now with my big comfy chair and good news with the dog and good news with the Milton hurricane, maybe I can get back on to doing my lives as much as I like to do them. Get a good night rest, Jazz. Love you. Oh, Sherry, you're so sweet. Yes, you get a good night rest too. So stay focused, stay calm, keep praying, stay hydrated, and eat well, nourish yourself, give yourself pats on the back for doing so well, and be kind to yourself, be kind to others, all that good stuff. Just be. That's the most important thing, right? Just be. You be you. So yeah, I'll sign off. Let me look at my notes real quick and see if there was anything other than the sheriff and the judge, the bailiff. Yeah, that the sheriff was the bailiff for that judge. The deputy that removed the ankle bracelets in exchange for favors in the chambers. So the judge asked the sheriff, Judge Mullins asked Mickey at lunch if they needed to have a private meeting, allegedly, because they were at lunch with other people who were witness to that. And Mickey's daughter, you guys heard about the rehab center that Mickey and the judge and I'm not sure who else was involved with the rehab center, but it sounds like there was involvement with the trafficking. And then I also caught this little tidbit of information that Sheriff Mickey had lost about 40 pounds in the last 2 weeks. So I don't know. That's a lot of weight to lose in 2 weeks. I'm not sure who said that. I'm not sure if it's true. But if he lost that much weight that quickly, I would say stress and being sued in the deposition. I don't think there's anything more stressful than being sued. Boob tube, hello. Yeah, it's just signing off. I have people from California actively trying to find and fix my identity. They need to know no matter what they do, justice is already in motion. If they silence me, it solves nothing. Much love. I am not sure what you're referring to, BoobTube. Docs, not fix. Damn autocorrect. Okay, now I know what you're referring to. Let me read it again with the right word in there. I know I hate that. I have people from California actively trying to find and dox my identity. WTF? Are they in Truckee? Is those the people? Is it Scammy and her henchmen? They need to know no matter what they do, justice is already in motion. If they silence me, it solves nothing. Much love. Yeah, people that think that that solves problems, it's crazy, isn't it? That rubbing somebody out solves problems. No, that creates many more problems, bigger problems. Yep, I heard that about him in the rehab. Yep, and other ones downstate. So good luck, boob tube. That bites, and I hope that you can prevent that from happening or that they get thwarted or something. That's so stupid. But also, I mean, some content creators are just very upfront with their information. They dox themselves, and then they're still safe. So I don't know. I mean, of course, we all have to be concerned about safety all the time, whether we're content creators or not. Thank you, Jazz. Appreciate it. It proves a few things, though. Right. Like, why would they be coming after you? So it proves that whatever information you're working on is good information. I've been trying to keep up with you. I know you've been doing some really good stuff lately. But yeah, with the doggo, I was having trouble keeping up with all my regular stuff. I'm trying, and I got to listen to my tunes. I got to rock out and chill. You guys, if you haven't checked out the AJR, please do. I will put some links in my description, since I haven't promised any links to anything yet. I'll just put music there. Just the tunes. I mean, if it just an accident, right. No, it's not going to take 2 years for FOIAs to be delivered for just a freaking accident. No, this is a huge cover. I mean, just all the flight patterns and the whole freaking case. The family hiring Sherry Papini's whatchamacallit, spin doctor, right? Linda Luchetti, the person who was the concierge for the Utah Jazz basketball team, and she was like a PR person. The fact that they hired a PR person and not like, a PI, a good PI, not somebody like SF Investigates, but like an actual real PI. But then all the PIs in that area of Truckee are Scammy's parents and Scammy's parents' friends, right? And then all those connections that they have with all the federal authorities from all their billions of dollars of government contracts. Hi, talk about Taylor. Dolores. I don't know your name. Taylor Swift? No, I'm just kidding. Taylor, the one in from Chicago. Taylor Casey. Is it Taylor Casey or Casey Taylor? I think it's Taylor Casey. Yes, there you go. What can we talk about with her? I would love to. I am so sad that case. I haven't heard anything. Have you? Love your channel. Started following with your Taylor coverage, then got into Kylie. Yeah. We need to get more noise on Taylor Casey. Not a lot of channels had been covering it. And I know I feel bad that I haven't mentioned her in a while. So thank you for bringing her up. I want to keep her name out there, just like Kylie. I have a feeling that their two cases could be very similar. The whole community aspect of Kylie's case, and then the community aspect of Casey's case. Taylor Casey's case. It's better to say Taylor's case than Casey's case. That sounds funny. Her family had a fundraiser, but the country just put it under the rug. Yeah, people weren't very focused on her case. I think her being Black and being transgender, I mean, it should have all of the hype of the Natalee Holloway case, really, in my opinion. Or of the Kiely Rodni case. I mean, all that weird stuff with the guys with the walkie-talkies and the guy who said he was from Chicago wearing the black baseball cap and the black t-shirt. I'm talking about the Bahamas, though. Yeah. Oh, the country of the Bahamas putting it under the rug. Gotcha. Big time. Thank you for pointing that out, because that is absolutely a dead giveaway too, that they didn't do just the regular normal stuff like making flyers and asking around, and that, you know, as soon as the mom and the friend got there, like they immediately sensed that things were sideways and toe up, and they didn't stay as long as they were planning to stay either, because they feared for their own safety. And yeah, I mean, the Bahamas has been unsafe for a while, and dang. And then that police chief that was put on administrative leave, what do they call it? Garden time or something like that. Right after putting out information about Taylor. Super weird. Yeah, Dolores. Well, thank you for coming in and bringing her up. That's totally awesome. Nice to meet you. So, Boob Tube says everything gets covered in the Bahamas. Someone put the audio up it was talking about. Oh, right. It was like a voice message that police chief had maybe sent in an email to people or something. Body organ stuff and trannies. Smack my head. Yeah, I know. That is super creepy, isn't it? Absolutely super creepy. Be safe, my friends, in the path of Milton. Prayers are with you. Was that fake? Dolores said. You heard I too. Not sure was what fake. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah, I heard the audio as well. Yeah, I'm so happy that you brought her up. I'm so happy you brought her up. He was fired right after. I thought he was put on garden time. Like, isn't that what they called it? There was something about garden time. Basically put out to pasture. Yeah. Was he fired, or I think he was like put on an administrative leave. Like that's what they call garden time. Um yeah. Well, very cool to meet you, Dolores. Prayers for all, and thanks again for hanging out, you guys. Lovely to see you, and see you very soon. Hopefully, tomorrow's Friday, so we'll shoot for tomorrow and see how that goes. Hope to see you then. Have a great night. Take care.